All right, Hudson Haskin played for the Newport Gulls last summer. Thanks for taking some time for us here. Last year, or actually in this past year's draft, getting taken by the Baltimore Orioles in the second round. Where are you now, Hudson?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Just getting ready to go to Instructs here next week. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great having you here. Just this past summer here in Newport, put together an unbelievable season. Was named an All-Star, hitting over 300, blasting some home runs, some triples, some doubles, running all over the base paths. Just a quintessential five-tool player. I think most would refer to you as. Let's talk about. I know you only spent one summer here, and it was just last year, so not too much. So it's pretty fresh on your mind. That is, how was your time here in Newport as you were attending Tulane University?
My time in Newport was awesome. I think looking back on it, we had such a special group of guys. We still got a group chat that we continue to talk to each other all the time. But yeah, everything, just going from the long bus rides to going to the beach with the guys on the off day, pregame Chipotle, just all that stuff. I really miss it. And I think, especially not playing baseball, it makes you really appreciate kind of like what we had and how much fun it was.
Yeah, that was your first summer ball experience, right?
Yeah,
You
for
just
sure.
finished up your freshman year, so coming from your first collegiate season, thrown right into the mix of a summer ball season where you're traveling up and down, at least in the New England Collegiate Baseball League, you're traveling up and down the Northeast. How did that environment compare to what you experienced at college? Granted, it was only that first season, but what were some similarities, some differences, or maybe some things that you weren't expecting once you got here in Newport?
I'd say it was definitely an adjustment. I'm pretty like routine oriented person, and I had my days at Tulane pretty much like mapped out to a T on when I was showing up to the field and what I was doing in the cages, things like that. And then I think when you go to summer ball, you don't have necessarily as flexible of a schedule. So sometimes, especially when you're playing on the road, it's just kind of show and go, get your 3 rounds of five swings in and be ready to go. So that was a good adjustment for me. And I actually struggled the first couple weeks at Newport. I mean, it's just a new team, maybe trying to do a little too much, trying to fit in. But I kind of, after a couple weeks, I settled down and ended up doing pretty well. So it was definitely a good experience.
Yeah. Did you talk to? There was a teammate of yours who also got drafted pretty high recently, Cody Hosey. Did you speak to him at all before coming to Newport about maybe a little what to expect?
Yeah, definitely. Cody was always talking about Newport. Ever since I found out I was going there, he told me like, this is going to be the best summer of your life, and just get ready to have a lot of great memories and things like that. So he was someone that I continue to talk to throughout the season. Just kind of good resource because he's been there and done it before. Um, but yeah.
What's so on? There's not too many off days. You're playing basically 6 days a week. What were some of your favorite off day activities or favorite spots to hit while in Newport?
Yeah, you're
Type
right. There definitely weren't that many off days. But we went to the beach a couple times with the guys. I'll always remember that. And I got pretty close with Coach Sorrow over the season, and we used to go down and hit at his high school and grab some sandwiches at like this local Italian place, and do that with a couple of the guys. So those are also good times. But yeah, just everything in general about my summer in Newport was pretty awesome. It's not really like one thing that sticks out. It was just the whole experience was something I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life.
No, we're glad that sticks out to you. And let's fast forward a little bit into returning to Tulane and getting that sophomore season going, which you were draft eligible. You put together a great season here at Newport. Did you start hearing some rumblings from some of the major league teams before the season? I mean, even before all of the COVID-19 pandemic hit, were you still planning on leaving school if you got the nod. Walk us through kind of returning to school and then into the spring season.
Yeah, so once the fall got underway, and we were in fall ball, scrimmaging, practicing, all that, some scouts started coming around, and you'd have meetings in the office, and they just talk to you kind of about getting to know their organization and trying to get a feel for you as a person and as a player. And for me, my outlook was always like I was going back to school for my junior year.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I looked at it, because I thought that it would take a little bit more pressure off me. And given it's definitely harder, or it's easier said than done, and it's easy to kind of let the outside noise get in your head. But I think I did a pretty good job of just trying to do my thing and prepare for the season and try and help the team win, because that was the ultimate goal. So yeah, there were a couple meetings and things that happened throughout the fall, and there's definitely, talk here and there, but I didn't try and make anything too big of it.
Yeah, and then you're starting the season. What were those days leading up to the cancellation like? Did you have any inkling that the season could be in jeopardy at any point?
And so we were actually off to a great start this year. I think we were 15-2 and beat Cal State Fullerton, which was a big series win for us. Got to play Dylan Brown there, which was cool. But we had a big series versus Long Beach State at Tulane. That was like they were having a great year, and that was kind of like that big series that everybody circled on their calendar. And the Thursday before, we went to the field to have normal practice and everything, and we got to the field, and they told us like, hey, the season's going to be postponed until further notice, just given everything that happened with COVID. Because I think the night before was when all the NBA stuff happened. And so at first they told us like, yeah, it's just going to be postponed, and everyone was obviously disappointed because we weren't going to play that game. But we were like, all right, we got 2 weeks, 3 weeks off, whatever it is. And when we're ready to get back, like we'll get back on the saddle, we'll be good. And then about 45 minutes later, we were just at the field hanging out, and somebody went on their phone and saw on Twitter, like NCAA announced that college baseball World Series is canceled. And so that's how everyone found out. It was kind of crazy. But it was definitely just like a sudden turn of events, because I could remember when the first rumblings of like COVID started happening, like nobody really took it seriously. And then within 24, 48 hours, like everyone's world was flipped upside down.
That was a weird couple days. Yeah. Exactly. You heard Rudy Gobert getting sick, and then the dominoes started to fall, and we saw the Ivy League cancel, and we saw a couple other leagues saying that they're wrapping up shop. And at that time, I mean, life hits you pretty fast here. I mean, even in the past 6-7 months for you, your life has completely changed. I think it's fair to say. When did it then pop in your head that, hey, listen, they're going to go through with a draft. You're going to have to make a decision to return or get picked up or start entertaining some offers. Was there ever a time where you kind of made that decision, or did it just kind of let it play out and see, where your name would eventually be called?
Yeah, it was one of those things where I just let it play out. Kind of like the fall after the season got canceled. I think there was like a month where MLB like banned like all scouting, or you couldn't talk to people, they couldn't come see you, whatever. And then after that was lifted, teams started having Zoom calls. So with various people on the scouting side, they just come talk to you over Zoom, and because that was really all they could do.
Yeah.
And so I had a couple of those, and then as things got closer to the draft, they started picking up a little bit. And in my mind, kind of same thing. Like I was just ready to go back to school, and obviously this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to play professional baseball. It's been my dream since I was a kid. But at the same time, the opportunity had to make sense for me to do that. And so, yeah, then as the draft got closer, some momentum started picking up, and then luckily ended up working out, and I'm really happy with how everything shaked out.
I think, yeah, I think it's hard not to when
Yeah.
you hear your name called that early. I mean, 39th overall, Baltimore Orioles. I mean, a team that's in a very much, I'd say, a rebuilding phase, but a lot of great young talent. I mean, having the number one overall pick from last year and adding a bunch of pieces throughout the draft these past few years. Yeah, there was nothing that kind of led you to believe. I mean, did you get a call a couple minutes before the pick? How'd that all go down?
Yeah, so I heard a little bit before the pick that they were really considering taking me, and then I just had a couple people over. It was really just my family, my girlfriend, and one of the coaches that have really helped me over the years, and they were all over at my house, and we were just watching on TV. And definitely hearing your name called is a pretty surreal moment. Just kind of culmination of a lot of years of hard work and finally paying off. And then like shortly thereafter, like as soon as my name was called, my phone started blowing up from everyone reaching out to me, which was really cool just to, see the support that everybody has had for me and all the people that have helped me in different ways. But yeah, it was really cool. I think, honestly, the coolest part for me is just going through this whole experience with my brother, and having him there was an awesome moment. Just because, yeah, it's me getting drafted, but at the same time, like it's kind of a joint effort. Like he's been there every step of the way, flipping to me, throwing to me, playing catch with me. So that was really cool.
That's really special that you're able to share that moment with him and your family. And if it wasn't for, I'm sure you would have been with your family, but if it wasn't for this pandemic, I'm sure he would have been playing ball.
Yeah, you never know. He could be playing summer ball or something.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly. So that's I guess looking on the bright side of things. I mean, congratulations, obviously, to be selected as high as you are in a draft where it was 5 rounds. What have you been up to during this whole pandemic, and how are you staying in shape and in communication with the Orioles?
Yeah, so as far as the Orioles goes, we've been doing a lot of Zoom calls. Been spending a lot of time on that application ever since the quarantine started. But yeah, we had a new player orientation that they took us through, which was meetings probably 2 or 3 times a week, and that was great to get to know some different people in the organization and get a feel for their values and what they believe in, what they're trying to build. And then in terms of working out and stuff, over the quarantine, I've just kind of built up a nice garage gym. So that's been really nice and convenient to have. So I've been getting my workouts in there. And then actually the Orioles 3rd rounder, Anthony Servideo, he's from Ole Miss, but he's from down here as well. And we've been hitting together for a couple years. So
Cool.
yeah, so we've been hitting together whole time. And then recently, probably about a month ago, I started getting in some live at-bats. So that's been a good experience just to get back out on the field again and get the competitive juices flowing a little bit.
Nice. No, that sounds good. And that kind of worked out that you had another draft pick close by there.
Yeah. It's been good to meet all the different guys over Zoom, even though it's not the same as meeting in person. But I feel like at least I'm not going into it totally blindly. And they had a free agent sign, Thomas Girard. I'm not sure if you remember him because he played in Mystic, I think. Okay. But he was from Duke, and he went to Avon Old Farms with me. So that's another guy that I've known for a couple of years that I'm be playing with. So that's cool.
Pretty ironic to have those so close, just be a free agent signing for the team. Did you know that Trey Mancini played in the NECBL, played for Valley? Yeah,
I think I've heard of that actually. That's pretty cool.
NECBL product. Well, hey, just before I let you go here, you're fresh off the process of high school baseball, doing a prep year, college, draft, all that type of stuff. Any advice or just mindset that you'd like to pass along to individuals in your same position?
The biggest thing I would say is it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's easy to get caught up in what everybody else is doing at the current moment and where you stack up against people at a certain moment. But I think at the end of the day, the most important thing would just be to take advantage of every single day and every single opportunity that you have in front of you. And if you're doing that every day, over time, you're going to end up where you should be. Um, so that really pertains to me. I was a pretty late bloomer. I didn't really get on the scene or anything until my junior or senior year in high school. But I think that, if you just keep your nose to the grindstone and take advantage of all the opportunities that you get, that over time that it's going to pay off.
That's great to hear. Hey, guys, players listening at home, I know it's tough to not get out there. You're listening from a second-round draft pick that he just started taking some more live ABs. So, I mean, really just doing what you can is important. And we're really ecstatic to see your continued development. We're happy to have you here in Newport, Hudson. Great on and off the field. I remember how much passion and enthusiasm you brought to summer camps and around the ballpark. So can't thank you enough. Hudson, good luck moving forward. Hopefully we can touch base once, maybe next season, the off season continues to see how this plays out.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. Be safe.